Welcome to the Abundance Hack Show, Season 4, where we are focusing on mastery. The last 3 seasons, I gave you the information. Now, we're focusing on integrating it into our lives and embodying it. If you are ready to master your thoughts, emotions, and patterns to feel whole, fulfilled, and really grounded in who you are without dimming your shine so you can live the abundant life that you truly desire, then you are in the right place. Hey M&Ms, thank you for tuning in to the Abundance Hack Show. What are you manifesting in your life today? I am so excited about today's guest, Marina. So not only is she amazing, she is a friend and we connected. It was definitely divine intervention, how we connected, and we'll tell you about that a little bit later. Marina is an energy healer, a hypnosis, and an educator, and she is just a dynamic woman that's making such an impact in the world. So I'm so excited for her to share her story. Before we dive into who you are and what you do, I want to ask you, what does abundance mean to you?
Oh, thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me. And abundance for me is a state of mind where you just pretty much create the life of your dreams, whatever that is for you. It's very individual, but it's a state of mind that allows you to be the magician of this world.
I love that you said the word magician. So I asked this question to every guest and no one's ever said magician, but I think that people think hypnosis is a magical thing. So tell us about you. Tell us how you got started with hypnosis. Like, take us all the way back to the beginning.
Okay, awesome. Well, magic is my life. And I love combining magic with science because for me, it's the same. And people just forget how magical we are. We really are. When we're kids, we manifest things all the time, right? We don't have any limits. We run around the way we are. And that's for me is magic. So for me, I think that my journey with hypnosis started a long time ago because all my life I dealt with a lot of self-esteem issues, with abundance, limiting beliefs. I grew up in Soviet Union in the time when we were really, there was a lot of scarcity. I remember as a little girl, my mom would send me to buy like eggs, milk, and bread, like the basics. And I would go to one store, nothing. Another store, nothing. And I remember that feeling of desperation. And as a child, I never experienced hunger because my family always took care of me. But when you go to one store to another store and you understand that there's nothing there, that is a very scary feeling. And so I learned, and then of course the country changed and there was abundance of everything, and I came to the United States, seemingly abundant country, and I realized that I had to have that personal journey with my own abundance issues, because no matter how much is right in front of you, if you have limitations inside, you're not going to go and get it. So hypnosis is a tool. It's just a tool. I want everybody to understand that people have some weird ideas about hypnosis, that somebody's controlling your mind. You are controlling your mind. Nobody can hypnotize you if you don't allow them to do so. You and I in hypnosis all the time, my dear. I see you when you're doing your beautiful sound healing and you're in that space. When you're listening to your jams, when you're listening to your beautiful affirmations, that's hypnosis. Hypnosis is transcending that limited chatter of conscious mind that goes all in the loop all the time, the same thoughts. It's just going beyond it. And all of us experience that on a daily basis, right? Have you ever had a situation where you were driving to point A, but you ended up at point B and then you're like, oh my goodness, I was going to the store. How come I ended up in the gym? Have you ever had something like that?
I definitely have. Like when we drive or like we're focused on something else, like sometimes you don't even remember how you got to a place because you're in a different state.
Yeah, so that is hypnosis. And so for me, I was looking for different tools because my mind, and all of us independent, intelligent women, especially, are prone to that nonstop, right? And I was looking and searching for the ways to shut that mind, because I understood at some point that it's not anybody's doing it to me, it's me, it's my mind. And so I was looking for ways, and I got to the energy work. And then somehow, you know how you're guided, I got to hypnosis. And ever since, I believe in it, and I just use it daily for myself and for my clients.
Mm. I love it. So I've actually witnessed you hypnotizing someone on stage, and I got to see the process. And a lot of what you spoke about was like removing his limiting beliefs. So what are some common limiting beliefs that you've seen people have that you were able to shift or help them release through hypnosis?
That's a good question. And actually, you were also observing how the energy of the person shifts before and after hypnosis. So before we talk about the limiting beliefs, I want people to understand that abundance is about space. If you don't have the space, or if it's filled with something else that is not serving you, there is nothing else that you can put there. So whenever we release, because our subconscious mind holds beliefs, it holds also trauma, it holds some weird information that, for example, if somebody fired you that was wearing a red tie, you might have a PTSD reaction to people having a red tie. That is how our subconscious works. So I want people to understand that yes, limiting beliefs are important, but there's a lot of other stuff that can prevent you from creating abundance. So limiting beliefs are money don't grow on trees. You need to work hard for your money. Oh, this is not for us. This is for somebody else. Another good one where you want to be happy, or you want to be rich, or you want to be healthy, or you want to be rich. Because in our society, abundance is associated with money only. We don't realize that money in itself is just a piece of paper. I can draw whatever. I mean, look at different countries. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, in my country, this is a big buck, and then I go somewhere else, and it doesn't mean anything, right? So it's a meaning that we assign, we create a tangible object to the energy, and money is energy. So you either prevent the flow of that energy, or you open your doors, and that has to do with your space, right? For example, for me, I have a practice. Every time I want to have a new project or raise my prices, before I do that, I create the space, because any new movement requires you to break the shell where you're in right now, because it's convenient, because you get used to it. Break it and expand. There's no expansion without that process. So it's always an uncomfortable process, right? And hypnosis helps us, and energy healing helps us in that uncomfortable process.
Yeah, because I think that uncomfortable process, the unknown is so uncomfortable to people that they would rather stay in the discomfort than to transcend it, to step forward into that new chapter or new phase or new opportunity. And so helping people break that shell, as you said, is powerful. It's life changing.
It is. And that's why we have our own little cocoon. We don't like it. We complain about it all the time. And then we run to that wall that we need to break. And it's an uncomfortable process, but it's painful and it's scary. And so we run back and we sit small. And that's what I called lethargy of the soul, right? My whole brand is about being ravenous for life and break away from that lethargic state, because you stay here. I also teach yoga. You know, in yoga, when you go through the pose, right? And we always say, breathe and relax into your pain. Because when we squeeze, that's the first reaction. Nothing happens. There's no space. Once we breathe through that and relax and sit in that pain, the magic happens. Oh, my hips open up. Oh, I have more space in me. So that is what the magic is for me.
Yeah. What does ravenous mean to you?
Ravenous for me means is a place of uncomfortable curiosity for life. You are constantly, there's something inside of you that doesn't allow you just to sit still. When you're ravenous, you're not going to be just laying there, thinking about how you want to change your life. You get up and you're in action. And that process, I believe that the kids have that, you know? And as long as we have that inside of us, we're never old. We're never, we're fully alive. It allows you to really have the extreme understanding of all senses of life, whatever life has to offer to you. So that for me is ravenous.
I love it. I love it. And you do so much. So I know that you do aura scans. So we actually connected through the bio well. Well, we connected on Facebook, not knowing that we were already going to the same seminar, which was amazing. Like I said, divine intervention, but you do aura scans as well. And so I'd love for you to share about that. Like explain because you do a deeper, like the bio well scans the biofield, but you do a much deeper explanation of our auras. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, of course. And related to abundance, I'm going to talk about auras related to abundance. So we have a physical body, and then around us there is a biofield consisted of many different energetic fields, right? And the science right now only knows just a little bit, right? There is so much more that we can learn, but whatever that little we know is already very powerful because we can see where we have holes, where we have darknesses, where the aura, the biofield, scientific term, is broken. Our biofield is designed to protect us, to actually create your own presence, right? How do you know that it's you? When I see you, my heart, my heart opens up. I feel your energy. Sometimes we go to the party, we see the most beautiful and whatever people, but we're like, there's something, right? So what I'm trying to say is that all of us have that sense of people. We call it vibe, but that vibe depends on our biofield. So our biofield shows us where there is a leakage of energy. When we have holes, often there is a place for us to be food for other people. So somebody can be taking your energy, and that's also not very good for abundance. That's why I always tell people, if you want to be truly abundant, you need to be that already, and you need to change your environment. It's like, the cliche idea of cleaning your closet, right? So you can have more, or maybe even you can attract a man in your life, or you can, attract better clothes, right? That's the same thing in your biofield. When I see the biofield that is full of holes, there's no space for abundance. You can have the greatest. In my practice, I had VP of whatever jobs before this life mission that I'm doing, and money seemed to just go through my hands, like sand. No matter how good my salary was, there would be some bills that are unexpected, and I would lose everything. And I was like, what is going on? So abundance is not about how much you make either, right? And your biofield shows you. Now, there are also energetic centers called chakras. And those chakras, if they're not open, the whole system is, out of whack, so to speak. Yes, we can say that the first chakra, the foundation, the third chakra, and the second chakra are very responsible for the sense of abundance, right? The first chakra is our stability, security, ability to move forward. The second chakra is our sexual energy. That is actually the creative energy with which we create. It's not only about sex. And also we have joy, and joy loves abundance, and abundance likes joy. And the third chakra is our self-worth, which equals often our net worth. But even if your heart chakra is blocked, the system is already not in the flow. So all chakras, I believe, are important, Because if your throat chakra is blocked, you're not able to ask and speak your truth. When you don't speak your truth, you cannot be authentic in what you do. When you're not authentic in what you do, money, again, the energy of money doesn't come to you. So everything, we're a system. So everything needs to be clean and aligned and balanced.
Yeah. Is there a certain color? Because I've seen some of your photos. Is there a certain color that you see more often in people's auric field or biofield that you know this client is successful or has the power? I feel like we all have the power to be successful, but have you seen a commonality, like a common color of people that are entrepreneurs or really successful?
Great question, because I'm actually doing a mini research and I'm doing a lot of scans of celebrities, right? And I found that people of any color, the color really shows more your motivations in this world, right? Like a white color is more spiritual, the yellow is more, joyful, the orange is more curious, and creative, and the green is opening the space for love. So all colors have the potential to create aura. What really matters is the size of the biofield and the condition. I was fortunate to have Kanye West as one of my clients, right? And while I cannot talk about specific things about his session, I can tell you one thing: his aura is huge and it's very strong. And I was really amazed at how in the show business he's doing a lot of work. You can tell that he's doing a lot of work on clearing the negative energy, on cutting off. Can you imagine how much drain? There is a lot of people who want something from him. So the size of the aura and the strength, the solidity of the aura, in my experience, and of course, alignment of chakras, but that goes together. So that is what the indication of a successful person.
I love it. So if someone's listening to this and they're like, okay, I want to expand my aura, or I want to make sure I cut any energy cords or drains, any hooks that are like, impacting me, what is something someone can do at home? Obviously, if they're in Chicago, they should come see you. But if they're listening from somewhere else in a world, what is something you recommend that they do to keep their aura clean so they can continue to allow abundance, and not just financial abundance, abundance of love, support, nurturing, joy, passion, all the yumminess?
Right. Well, this is a really good question. Of course, there are tons of things, but I think that I would leave the audience with three kind of strategies. One, you need to understand that in this world, there is a balance between chaos and coherence. We do that in our bioenergy field. We always measure chaos versus coherence. And I think if you find that perfect sweet spot where you have chaos for me is unexpected. It's something that gets you out of your comfort zone and it makes your heart goes, So abundance always needs to have an element of risk, of a little bit of that risk. Yet coherence, right? Coherence is something that is your integrity. For me, coherence, you're coherent as a human when your actions, your words, your thoughts, the way you are in the party and the way you are at your center where you heal is the same person. So if I run into you, in your beautiful session which you give me, you're going to be the same person that I find you when you're going out with your girlfriends, right? I mean, we act differently, but you understand it's not going to be like 180-degree difference, right? So that is one thing. The second thing is the space. We talked about this. How do you create space? Yes, of course, inner work. Of course, I think that coaches need coaches, healers need healers. Finding that modality, it can be hypnosis, it can be energy work, it can be sound healing. You need to try and find your own. I never recommend one thing or another, because we're all different. But you have to do that. And also cutting off. You have these people who are constantly complaining. You have these people who are constantly draining your energy. You have I remember that my purse used to be a mess, right? I can never find anything. I could never find anything in my purse. And I told myself once, how can a woman who wants to create coherence in her and the flow can have this kind of like folded dollars stuck everywhere? You know what I mean? It's energy, so it needs to be respectful. So creating that coherence everywhere. And the third thing, and space, right? And the third thing is discipline. We are creatures of habit. I can be 24 hours working on my energy, on my mind, but if I stop doing my practices, I go right back where the rest of the world goes. And right now, the universe, unfortunately, our Earth, not universe, the Earth is actually not vibrating at the highest vibes, right? We probably all feel that. So, creating that cushion for yourself every day. Happiness is a disciplined choice of doing activities daily that make you strong. I wake up, I make myself strong. Then from that energy, I attract to my life and I share the energy that I just generated. That's it.
I love it. I love it. So what's next for you? What is I know you're always up to some. I feel like we both always have something amazing going on.
Yes,
So
yes.
what's next for you?
I think that it's time for me to write the next book. And there will be a chapter on energy of celebrities,
Oh, very
uh,
cool.
where I'm going to show that each of us can be a celebrity, and celebrity is not necessarily whatever the definition of celebrity is. For me, a beautiful celebrity is somebody who is working on their energy and who, again, going back to from where I started, where you become a magician of your life, where no matter what the circumstances, no matter if there is pandemic, war, hunger, whatever, crime, aggression, you can create your own life in this world. Like they say, live in this world, but not be of this world. It is your chance, it is your choice, and it is given to each and every one of us.
I love it. I love it. And so what's the name of your last book? We want to go
My
ahead and
last book is Find the G Spot of Your Soul.
Oh, tell me about that. Jeez, I'm like
I know, right? This is a book that allows people to exactly, and that's the tagline is journey from lethargic to ravenous living. Because, I think in our society, there's so much pressure to find that purpose, right? People don't understand that when you find your own dance with this world, and it's very unique, and it doesn't have to be you have to be a lawyer, doctor, or whatever, right, that society trains us to be. Money comes to you just because you're doing what you love, what you're good at, what you're willing to do, even if nobody pays you money. I sit at, like a complete nerd on a Saturday night, and I'm reading articles on biofield and, oh my goodness, on energy. And that's like the most exciting thing for me. Nobody pays me for that time. But when you are in that energy of curiosity and that ravenous living, you found your G spot of your soul, because that's the G spot that is going to keep on giving, keep on bringing that pleasure, keep on bringing that feminine energy that you always talk about, of joy, of space. All of these things we talked today about, they're really mostly feminine energy that people suppress in themselves.
Yeah, and
Right? Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know that you and I have had a lot of conversation about the state of like women taking on more of a masculine energy. So I'd love to hear your feedback on that. So I know that there's a lot of women that want to be in their divine feminine, but almost, in my opinion, don't feel safe because they feel like maybe the men in their lives are not stepping up, or they feel like they have to be. So is that something that hypnotherapy can help with, helping a woman tap into her divine feminine?
I love that question. Yes, absolutely. I honestly, as much, and I'm a woman myself, I believe that women are the ones who set the tone. We create energy. So if men don't step up, it's because we women are not allowing that space around us because we're acting from the masculine more. And talking about abundance, our entire culture is based on being masculine, about achieving, competing, fighting for that. While abundance is about space and allowing, it's leaning back and feeling worthy to receive. I'm not saying there's no action, but the action that is not forced, the action, like I told you, oh, I'm so excited, I'm in a place of like I'm a little kid. That's a feminine energy. So I believe that hypnosis can help you go back to that point because we have such technique called regression. You can, you might not even remember where it is, but your subconscious remembers. You can go back to the point where you forgot that you're the divine goddess. Because as a little kid, I remember I was a little kid. We were standing in line in Soviet Russia for, I don't know, for a vase or something, an hour long or 2 hour long lines back then. And I was wearing a beautiful skirt that my grandmother made because we couldn't buy anything. And I had a tambourine in my hands and my long hair, and I was dancing, and I was the magician because for a split moment, I didn't only transform my miserable experience as a kid standing in line, but the lives, gray lives of all of these people that I brought that entertainment to them, and I gave them that, you know, feminine power. So all of us are born like that, all of us. And at some point, somebody told me, like they told you, like they told thousands of other people, ooh, stop. Society always is scared of feminine energy because that's the energy of creation and destruction of some things that no longer work. It's an energy of change. So in any time in history, women with a lot of sexual powers were blamed to be witches, were burned, were persecuted, right? So here you have it. So we can go regress to this life or even to other lives and change because our memory is not based on reality. We create memory, so we can recreate a memory.
Okay, so recreating memories, how does that work with trauma? If someone's had trauma and they're kind of stuck in a holding pattern or like a trauma loop, can you recreate that memory of the trauma?
Very good question. There are two types of regressions that I use. If there is a very strong trauma like rape, we don't want to go back into that and relive that. There is a way in hypnosis to go and shift your attachment to that event without entering the event. Because the whole hypnotic experience, in my mind, should be pleasurable. You know, yes, you can still, it's a warning, right? Because we're stuffing so much repressed emotions that sometimes there's a lot of release. You cry, people cry, they even can have like, you know, they can be in a bad mood after the session. But once that's cleared, it's okay. So I work with subconscious mind, but I also work with superconscious mind. Superconscious mind is something that connects you to something higher. And superconscious mind is so smart. It's so much smarter than you and I and all of us together. So if it allows me to go exactly into that experience and relive it, we go there. You can drop by that little girl, you can hug her, you can go through that. Or you can also heal it without entering that experience.
Would you say that the super conscious mind is like accessing your higher self?
Yes, I don't like giving definition to that because each of us has their own definition, right? We call it divine, we call it higher self, we call it God, we call it soul, we call it universe. I always say superconscious mind is something that is above our conscious and subconscious, and something that connects us to something bigger than this beautiful meat suit, something that, runs this world and has the memory of all of us, right? So I will tell you, I have people who come exactly for past life regression. They want to go, and often they come because of curiosity, and that's ego. And superconscious mind says, nope. And I never force it. So I always warn people, we might go to other life, or you might need to go to this life's experiences and heal something here. I never know how the session will go, which is really interesting to let go of that control too.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So, but I like that concept of our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, and then our superconscious mind. I love it.
Yes, absolutely. And we operate uh, with conscious mind, which is 5 to 10%, and we think we're so smart. Well, there's so much going on the background. So, and talking about abundance, you can take courses, you can read books, you can really do all of this, financial, strategies, and still not have money. Like I told you, I had great positions. I had really high paying jobs, and I was broke.
Yeah.
Why? Because my conscious mind is just 5 to 10% of my life.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love so much about sound healing is that it helps you access that subconscious and release the stuff that is standing in the way of the abundance that is already here for us. It's just us blocking it because of our stuff that we have to release.
Yes, and it connects us with superconscious mind. I remember during your meditation, here we go. Here's my little baby here. Okay. Hi, baby. Talking about abundance, you see? The abundant little kid. So, during your sessions, I remember that I entered the space where it was no longer about me, right? It was no longer about me. And I think that sorry. Okay. So, I think that we actually even had a research where we measured the energy of the room. So, one more thing that I want you to all remember: when you become abundant, or when you become healed, or when you become, in love, you're not only working on yourself, you're really uplifting other people, and you create that abundant energy around you, because we even have it documented in our research, right, that we've done together in the group. So you can see the energy field that is created, that is that coherent field that is created around us, that allows us to uplift others.
Yes. I love it. So, what is your top tip for living an abundant life?
Honestly, out of those three strategies that I told you, I think that you need to find what makes you strong. Like, I really don't know what it is for you, but trial and error, that's how we find it. And just disciplined way of living. Honestly, there's no magic pill. Yes, of course, hypnosis helps. Of course, sound healing helps and all of that. That should be a part of your overall routine, like, brushing your teeth, like, working out. You cannot go to a gym and lift for 5 hours and then that's it, right? You got to do it all the time. So the same thing with abundance, the same thing with anything in life, because once you reach a certain place, remember, we talk about ravenous living. Ravenous living is never stopping. Abundance needs to keep expanding, and it's not just money. You need to understand. You will understand once you have the money become not a problem, not an issue, not a focus anymore. So I think that creating practices and sticking to them, and being in that ravenous curiosity for life, that's the biggest
Yes. I
tip.
love it. I love it. I'm all about like living intentionally, and that's what it's about, living intentionally. And I was actually creating a post. I heard a quote on a book that I really loved. I want to share this, and then I love for you to share how people can find you online. So This is by Michael Gerber. He says, I believe it to be true that the difference between great people and everyone else is that great people create their lives actively, while everyone else is created by their lives, passively waiting to see where life takes them next. The difference between the two is the difference between living fully and just existing. The difference between the two is the difference between living intentionally and living by accident. It just speaks to exactly what you were saying, that you have some people that are just sitting back waiting to see the hands that they're dealt, and just they're reacting rather than taking action and being disciplined and living intentionally. So I absolutely love it.
Absolutely. And we talked about this, that even sometimes among our light workers, people don't do their practices. They reach certain place and then they think that's it. No, my dear, it never ends. There is no point you're going to reach and sit on cloud nine and all is good. As long as we're in these bodies, there's always this dance between the darkness and the light, between the chaos and coherence. And you are the point of this choice, right? You have the choice where you want to go. If you stop moving, you go down to lethargy. No matter if you are Reiki healer, if you're the certification in Reiki healing does not give you the exit out of the discipline practice.
Exactly.
You know how that is, right?
Yeah. So where can people find you online?
Thank you. Well, the easiest way is actually just go to my website where all my other social media and everything, it is Dr. for Dr. Marinakostina.com. Here we go.
Awesome. I will definitely have your links in the show notes. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I love everything that you're doing. You already know.
Thank you.
I am like your biggest supporter. And likewise, you've been such a huge support for me. And it just goes to show how when powerful people come together, like we're really unstoppable. So I love all of the support that you've given me. And I want to always be there to support you as well, because we have to stick together and just keep supporting each other as we share our light with the world.
Absolutely. And that's what abundance is. We have space to support each other too. So thank you for being this amazing person in my life.
Thank you. All
Thanks.
right, M&Ms, until next time, be decadent. Thank you for tuning in to the Abundance Hack Show. I would love to hear from you. Leave your comments and questions, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our yummy episodes. Every time you leave a 5-star rating or review, I do my happy dance.